Hello, this is Lucas, and in this video I'm going to be going over object methods in JavaScript, and we're also going to be going over one new keyword called this. So just to go over what we did in the last few videos. So we were going over objects. So for example, we can create a new object. So let's say we create a user object. Then we can give it some keys and values. So we can have a name. We can give it any name you want. So John. Or then you can have a second key. Let's say that key's age. Then we can give it a value as well. Let's say he's 30, for example. So just like this, we have created an object of user with two properties. We have one key and one value, and then another key and another value. But now we can also assign a function to this object. So we can do something like user dot. Let's say we do just say hello, okay, and we can just equal this to a function, and then we can just write our normal function as it is. We do need to add a semicolon here, and actually we need to add one after we create the object, and then we can just have something like console.log, and then we just log out something like hello. Okay, so that's how we can create an object, and that's how we can assign a function to that object, and then we can call this. So we will just call this by just doing user dot say hello, and this will just call this function here, and we can test that out just by going into here, refresh this, and you can see we get printed out hello, because this function here is called on line number 10. Okay. But now, instead of actually separating the object and the object's function, we can actually we can include it all in the object. So if we go into our object here, so let's actually just remove this. Now in our object, we can just create a function here. So let's say we want to do say hello. Okay, so we do say hello, colon, and then we'll do function, a few brackets, curly brackets, and then in here we'll just write just as normal. So we'll just do something like console.log, and we'll just log hello again. Okay, but now we also need to add this comma here if we have some properties after it, and just like this, this will work in the exact same way. You can refresh, you can see this gets called again. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. There is actually an easier way that we can add a function. So I'm going to keep this for now just so we can see the difference. But just an easier way of doing it is we can just write something like say hello. Okay, then we'll just add some brackets, and then we'll add the curly brackets, and then we can just have the console.log in here. And this works the exact same way as this here. Make sure we add the comma. Yeah, so this works the exact same way as this. This looks a little bit better than this, so this is the more ideal way of doing it. So let's just remove this, we don't need this anymore. And just like this, we have an object that includes two properties, name and age, and one function that we have created here. Now I'm just going to put these over here. I'm just going to move the order around of the function or of the properties. Okay, so it's just going to be like this for now. Okay, so next I'm going to introduce a new operator, I guess you could say, a new keyword called this. So let's use this as an example. So let's say that we want to call this function here inside of this object, but we want to print out, or we want to use the values of our property. So we want to do something like hello, my name is, and then I want to do something like, I don't know, like name, for example, right? Or you can even add a comment. Okay, then you can just refresh that. You can see hello, my name is, and then we don't actually get anything. We could probably do plus. We still get nothing, you know. We could also do user dot name, okay, because that is the name of our object. Okay, you see we do get John now, okay, so that's fine. Add a space there. But there is actually a more efficient way of doing this. So instead of actually calling, because we can have multiple of objects with the same name, okay, So we need to distinguish to see which properties are assigned to which object. So if we have this object here, we want to print out, let's say, the value, or we want to use this value. Instead of doing user.name, a more efficient way of doing it will be this.name. And what this means is we are getting this property from this object here. Okay, so get the name from this object. Okay, so the name inside of this object is John, so we will print out John just like that. Okay, so that's what this means. If we have, if we have any other, so if we have, for example, let's do this. We could do something like, let's say we have a let, and we have it name, and equal this to, let's say just Thomas. Ooh. Okay. Then if we do something like name, this one actually, this could conflict. Sometimes it's not going to. I don't think. You see, it is actually. Okay. So we could actually just do user.name. This will still work as well. Okay. But the most efficient way of doing it is just using the this keyword. Because as I said, this will just get the name that is of this object here. So the reason why we don't want to use user in here, because even though it does work, okay, it does work. So as I showed you already, this will print it out. This can cause issues because if we try to copy an object, okay, so for example, let's say we do let user2 is equal to user. Okay, so now we are copying this, and then let's say that we set user is now equal to null. Okay, and then let's say we do user2 here, and we want to say hello. Okay, what's going to happen is we are going to get an error because now instead of this object, okay, being user, it's now user2, and we're trying to print out user, the name of user, but user does not exist. User2 exists now, so that's why this can cause issues. So that's why we should have this keyword, and this will solve all of these issues right here. So that's about it for this video. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.